Welcome, students, to the fifth part of chapter 18, Body Fluids and Circulation. In this video, we will discuss about the regulation of cardiac activities, the part which regulates the cardiac activity. Then we will discuss about the lymphatic system, lymph, its function, its role, significance of lymph, and the disorder related to circulatory system. Normal activities of heart is regulated intrinsically, that is auto-regulated by specialized muscles which are nodal tissues present in the heart that we have discussed in our previous videos like SA node. And hence our heart is myogenic heart. What is the meaning of myogenic heart? Heart, myogenic organ, is something that regulates its function by its own. As our heart has its own regulatory tissues like SA and AV nodes, so our heart is myogenic heart. Medulla oblongata regulates cardiac activity through ANS, and ANS has two parts, sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. The function of sympathetic nervous system is to increase the rate of heart, the strength of ventricular contraction, and cardiac output. It will increase the cardiac output. Whereas parasympathetic nervous system decreases the heartbeats, decreases the conduction of action potential, and that will reduce the cardiac output. The fourth one is adrenal medulla. The hormones like epinephrine, norepinephrine increases the rate of cardiac output. So this is how the regulation of cardiac activities takes place. There are four. One is medulla oblongata, then parasympathetic and sympathetic, and fourth one is adrenal medulla. The next comes lymphatic system. It includes lymph, lymph vessels, and lymph nodes. Those are glands. As the blood passes through the capillaries in the tissues, some water and the soluble substances from the blood vessels filter out from plasma to the intercellular space, which is known as interstitial fluid. It has same mineral distribution as that in the plasma. Some tissue fluids will enter into the lymphatic systems, and this tissue fluid is then known as lymph. It drains back this fluid to the major veins. Lymph is colorless fluid which contain lymphocytes. The function of lymph is it is the middleman between blood and the tissues. Tissue fluid helps to exchange nutrients, gases, etc. between blood and the cell. The second function of lymph is it carries plasma protein which are synthesized in the liver to the blood. Third function is it helps in transportation of digested food, digested fats, fat-soluble vitamins and hormones which are unable to transport through blood. Filtration of bacteria and foreign particles also take place through lymph, and lymph node produce WBC, which are lymphocytes and antibodies that helps to fight against the pathogen. Now we will discuss the disorders related to circulatory system. The first one is hypertension, which is also known as high blood pressure. Pressure of circulating blood on the walls of blood vessel is known as blood pressure. A normal blood pressure is 120 by 80 mm mercury, and it includes the systolic pressure and the diastolic pressure. Systolic pressure, that is pumping pressure of the heart, and the resting pressure on the wall of arteries. When the blood pressure is higher than the normal blood pressure, it is known as hypertension. If an individual repeatedly has blood pressure of 140 by 90 or above, it shows hypertension, and it leads to heart diseases and affects the vital organs like brain, kidney, etc. When the blood pressure is higher than normal BP, one should avoid these kind of food as it is shown on the picture, like salt, meat, high cholesterol food, and alcohol. Whereas there are certain foods that can help to lower down the blood pressure like paneer, pineapple, kiwi, spinach, etc. The second type is CAD, which is also known as atherosclerosis, which is coronary artery diseases. Here, calcium, fat, cholesterol, and fibrous tissues are deposited in the coronary artery. A coronary artery is an artery that supplies the blood to the heart muscles. Thus, it makes the lumen of the artery narrower, and thereby it will affect the blood supply to heart. The third type is angina, which is angina pectoris. It is an acute chest pain due to deficiency of oxygen to the heart muscles, and it occurs due to improper blood flow. It is common among the middle-aged people and the elderly people. Make it sure angina is due to the oxygen deficiency. The fourth type is heart failure. It is inability of a heart to pump blood enough to meet the needs of the body. So heart failure and angina both are different. Angina is pain in the chest or the heart due to lack of oxygen concentration, and second one is heart failure, which is inability of a heart to pump blood. The fifth type is cardiac arrest. Here heart stops beating. Now, if we compare the heart failure and the cardiac arrest is associated with the electrical problem, that is, it is associated with SA and AV node, that is nodal tissues of the heart. So if nodal tissues are damaged, then it won't pass any electric impulse to the heart, so the heart won't pump and heart stops beating. And the last one is heart attack. It is sudden damage of heart muscle due to inadequate blood supply. So these were the disorders related to the circulatory system of disorder related to circulatory system. Thanks for attention.